Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Quick look again at Celestia, double checking a few things. This is a request from one of my community members here. I forget who it was. Was it, yeah, Costas. Thank you, Costas. Appreciate the request here. We'll definitely get this uploaded here shortly. And obviously just kind of redraw out our fib levels here. We can extend out our Elliott wave here because this is obviously a very expansive wave, which does imply we probably have one more leg up here. And generally those are going to come up to the 0.382, 0.5, 0.618 fib levels, or pull back to rather, which means I got to draw out some new fibs here. So if you are new to the channel, welcome aboard. I hope you can learn something today. If you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is a site, link down below where you can jump on over. We've got some really cool things going on right now. Our day trades are off the charts here today, taking some nice profits, and we secured some profits from Solana yesterday, and a really nice little pump here. But truth is, we're kind of getting into some newer trades right now this weekend because it's looking pretty solid in the overall sense as far as alts are concerned. So we're in a pretty good position where the price action should likely continue much further higher. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this up. In fact, let me go ahead and check mark this guy again. Okay, all right. So what we want to look at is a couple of things. Let's start with the backend data, liquidation, and kind of see what's going on with that first, and then kind of work our way down. Because again, this, folks, kind of ask, how important liquidation is, and I would, generally say it's a very good thing to be mindful of because it's just another tool in your tool belt, right? Something that you can kind of use to your advantage. Because when you look at it here, you can see there's a lot more liquidation on the downside than the upside, implying that people are heavy on longs, but they're also reiterating, reinforcing these support levels, but also telling us that there's maybe some incentive if the price starts to continue to lose its support level here. We might see those areas retested because, whales, they like to sweep those liquidation levels, so they have no opposition. So just know there's not a lot to the upside, whereas there's probably a lot more to the downside, as you can kind of see here. All right, so either way, about a 300 million in liquidation at 657. And roughly the same at about 707. So between 650 and $7 roughly is an area of general liquidation there that could be swept. But again, on the shorter term, it would make sense for the price to pull back a little bit more before it legs up again. All right, so again, I have a crude illustration here on trend lines here. That's just kind of running concurrent in a lot of ways with the moving averages, but also we're still establishing higher lows. So we got to recognize that. Take a look at the daily time frame. Let's recognize a couple of important factors here, such as the moving averages. Well, when we look at the SMAs, we can see they're all below the price action. The 200 is way above us at like 860. We don't need to worry about that. But for right now, the important thing is we're above all moving averages, letting us know that we're on the right side of tracks. Okay, this is a good sign. This is a very positive in the overall sense. We can also see our trend strength is super good. MACD is still converging. Stochastic RSI is converging once more. We can also, it's trying to diverge, but hasn't yet. And we got money flow index tapering off. This does generally tell us that we are getting closer to a slight reversal. And when I say reversal, some people seem to think that like going to zero is a reversal. It's not. It's basically just probably retesting the local high, which in this case here, we'll have to zoom in and find out. I think it was previously at $5. There may also be a local high at about $5.25. It'll be easier to identify when we see the smaller time frames because then you can see where candlestick closes and opens. This one here is kind of needs to be redone. We can see a local high here, roughly at about 535. And then again, the previous high prior to that is roughly again $5. So rounding up $5 and 535 are the two areas of potential support outside of the fib levels based on more recent highs. The general consensus, if you're not familiar with this, is that when the high is established and the price breaks through it, it generally will bullishly backtest it as a support. That's essentially what we're looking for here. So hypothetically, the price continues to flag out and comes down here and bounces. And when I say flag out, I'm just referring to the fact that there is somewhat of a flag pattern here that we can kind of see with the price action, right? It's definitely not a guarantee, but it's just a bit of a channel, okay? And a descending channel typically breaks to the upside because it originated from the downside. That's kind of what we're looking at. So I'll post a new playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, or Discord if you're not familiar with that. It looks a little something like this, where I give you indications of where I'm planning to go with my trades. That'll be available there, but for right now, just kind of understand that's loosely a flag pattern. We can recognize too in the 4-hour time frame that we are trying to MACD converge, stochastics bottoming out. We're over 50 on the RSI, and we are losing the money flow index. When the MFI drops below the RSI, especially under 50, that does imply that there's more selling pressure than buying pressure, and that we're probably more likely to see a discontinuation of the uptrend in the short term. So we're probably going to see the price continue a little bit lower because of that. That's my thoughts. Again, the 4-hour time frame is not bullish at all. We're still over the 20-day SMA. That's positive, but it looks like we're going to lose it soon, and the 50 will probably be tested here shortly. So my expectation is the price is going to probably continue to do what it's doing here and potentially find its bottom at either one of these fib levels or the previous high turned into a new low at about 535. So it's looking like 535 to 550 is a potential support zone for us. Okay. Once more, I'll update our playout chart and explain more about that later. But for the moment, we're looking mostly good, but the 4-hour time frame is mostly telling us that it wants to pull back, and it would make more sense to expect further downside before it legs up. If we do break this descending trend, it might be a different story altogether. But again, it's still a little too early. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at there. All right, so let's take a look at the Ichimoku cloud. Confirm that we are within the cloud, lagging spans within the price action, conversion line, baseline are intersecting. There's nothing good here, really. It tells us this is a big mess and you want to kind of avoid it. What I mean by that is, simply put, we're probably expecting the price to continue lower. So if you're considering a short, I would keep it tight and make sure you pay attention, because for the most part, altcoins are doing really well this weekend. It doesn't make a ton of sense to try to short into that. So if you're going to short, make sure you use it responsibly and you watch it closely. I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend waiting for a better entry on a long. We have this fair value gap as low as about 542. Good chance we're going to see that get filled based on the overall lack of momentum on the 4-hour. And we're probably going to see a bounce in the 535 to 550 range. That's an area that I'm considering taking a trade if I were to. Okay. Again, I'd reevaluate when we get there. So I'll go ahead and set an alert just to kind of see if it might be worthwhile if we cross that plane. Between now and then, I think we're more likely to see something along these lines here. All right, so I'll post our playout chart here shortly. I do appreciate you watching. Like, comment below if you get a chance. Please hit the like button on every video. It really helps grow the channel. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. Take care.